Are we live yet?
It says you're live. It says you're been live for 7 seconds. 7 seconds.
That holy number. Welcome everybody to Brilliantly Sexy with Devina Kaur, and today it is my honor and pleasure to welcome Charlie Freak and Colleen Marie, who's just about to join in. And those of you who may not know Charlie Freak, he's a spiritual teacher, a podcaster, and he gave up everything in Canada after his MBA, after getting 3 university degrees, and moved to Mexico to run an animal shelter. So he's got this incredible journey, and I wanted to bring him on camera, share his story, his journey, and special focus to the elections today. So please join your hands and please help me welcome Charlie Freak all the way from Mexico. And Charlie, welcome. I'm so excited we're doing this. I've been following you, and how I met Charlie was because one of his videos went viral on YouTube. It was about the adrenochrome industry, and it was a little bit of a shocker. So that was his main reason that I connected. And Charlie, please welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce us, and then we have a lot of guests joining in. We also have Biden supporters, Trump supporters, and I wanted to encourage everybody to have a discussion and debate about who to elect and who to choose and what is the right choice. So Charlie Freak, welcome. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Thank you, Charlie. So please tell us about yourself.
I am me. Isn't that what Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita? I am me.
I am me, and isn't that the last words of the Bible? The first words, I am, or is it I am or am I? What are? Tell us about that.
I am that I am. So
I am that I am. Yes.
I am that I am. God, Yahweh, Yahweh, Java, Jehovah, and I am me. I am the me version of the I am. So that's about it. That's about all you need to know. And then the cool thing is that if you watch the show, you'll learn all that you need to know about Charlie Freak and who he is from moment to moment. And if you're literally thinking about bringing Joe Biden supporters on the show today, wow, like number one, I believe in non-discriminatory behavior. I believe in absolute acceptance of all things except Joe Biden supporters. If you're a Joe Biden supporter, I make one exception, and you're it.
Well, Charlie, the thing is, I'm a liberal. I'm a first-generation immigrant. My parents live in India. I live in Canada, and as an immigrant, we automatically lean towards the policies that support immigration. So
that's not the Democrats. That's just what they say. That's not what they do.
And that's where you come in and you tell us about, what the history behind this is, what the story is, and how can we as human beings it's not about Biden versus Trump, Democrats versus Republicans, the white versus black. It's about human beings being together, rising in consciousness. And those of you who are new to watching Brilliantly Sexy, our mission, our social mission, we are a registered nonprofit foundation at sexybrilliant.org. And our mission is to raise human consciousness. So that is why we're having, hopefully, a discussion and a debate without saying that, you're wrong and my way is the only way, because really nobody wins with that. So Charlie Freak, come back and tell us how come you are where you are. Let's go back a little bit. Why Mexico? What brings you there?
Well, first let me say I'm right and you're wrong. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, let's continue. Jeez.
Okay. Well, Charlie,
Biden supporters. Man.
You know what, Charlie? Like this, I've never been a politician. Like, I don't take sides. But the thing is, how can you not? Politics is everything. So,
well, of course, where we're at right now is that this isn't politics, and we'll obviously make this clear during the show today.
okay.
And this is where the transformation becomes, and this is where the unification comes, because right now with everything that's going on, even the actions of President Trump, everything right now is polarization. So in this particular moment, I would say quite likely that this earth has never been as polarized as it clearly is polarized. So we are in a real tough spot as mankind, man and woman. We're in a tough spot because right now you have people that are at one end of the extreme to the other. Now, here's the thing that's just very, very, very important to remember and to know. Moving forward, this also what we're going through right now with the takedown of the mainstream media and the takedown of the Democrats and their connection to big tech, which is in connection to the mainstream media, which is the cabal, is that none of this is Republican, Democrat. None of this is red versus blue. None of this is conservative versus liberal. These are all terms that people that want to own you made up. So, just throw that nonsense out. And where we're going in the future is so far away from two-party politics or anything that you're seeing now. Where we're at is right versus wrong. Where we're at is good versus evil. Where we're at is goodliness, godliness versus then hell upon earth. We can have heaven upon earth or we can have hell upon earth. And it's a choice, and it's a choice in every single moment. And the people that we are supporting are those that are attempting to turn things back to the right. Cast thy net to the right. Those that have been in power, you can't deny this. You cannot deny this. See, and it doesn't matter because, some were Democrats, some were Republican. The Bush and the Clintons are the same. There's no difference. That's why Trump, who's running as a Republican, is not a politician. He's absolutely not a politician at all, and which tells you that he's atypical, and that's what is required. Atypicability to get away from the standard distraction of left versus right, liberal versus conservative. So that's where we're at, is right versus wrong. And we're going to go through all of this today. And then, of course, the big thing is that, if it's right versus wrong, we need to cast our nets to the right, go to the right, goodliness and godliness. Then all you have to do is take a deep breath, connect, relax, because the creator of all of this will win. Of course, this is creation. And all we ever have to do is just get out of our own way. You see, we create all our own problems in our own personal reality because of these. And these are the 10 digits of the hands of man. And we think we know when we really don't know much of anything at all. And when we get out of the way, it's like the air knows. So breathe it in. Remember on the last show with Colleen, I think that was the big live show. And Colleen was just saying that, or maybe that was the show last week. And Colleen was saying that when you breathe, you need to breathe that in the recognition that God is the air. And that, of course, you want to fill yourself up with the creator, with God, God's spirit, God's energy within you. So then you breathe like this. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And that's how you breathe. You breathe deeply because it is God. That is God. The ether is God. The ether is the air. That is the breath of God. And so that's how you breathe. And when you breathe that way, just like I did right now, I'm already high because I'm filled with God's air. That's how you get high. You don't have to take a drug to get high. You just have to fill yourself with God. And the quickest, easiest way to do that is with air. So it's all so easy. Get out of your own way. Remove the hands of man and replace it with the knowingness and the connection, the humility, the penitence before God. and there is the answer. That is the way. Take no thought, Jesus Christ said in the Bible, and that is the way. Take no thought.
Take no thought. Charlie, so can you just quickly go over what this means? Like you said, the hands, the 10 fingers, what does this signify?
Well, first off, each hand has 5 digits, and the 5 digits that are on each hand are a representation of the 5 physical senses. So when we root ourselves in our uncles that are connected to the earth, Egypt, to the ground, we're grounded, and that is a problem, because the answer to everything is to rise. Hey man, it's like, and that's why they've changed all of the definition, the meaning of words over the last a couple of hundred years, to take us away from all of these ancient sayings that are always telling us the answer and the way. So it's like, hey man, this none of this is working out, man. Like, we got to start taking this serious. We got to get serious with all of this. Well, serious, which people spell Serious. Sirius is Sirius. It's the constellation. It's the Sirius. You have to get serious. It's all part of the the dog star, and it's all part of this straight line that runs from the Three Kings all the way through Sirius to the Southern Cross, and that of course rises in the winter solstice, and therein lies our answer, which is this resurrection. So we have to get serious. Where is the dog star? Where is Sirius? It's in the sky. So Sirius literally means, no, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do this, and we don't have to start thinking and really thinking. That's the opposite of what Sirius means. Sirius is a beautiful energy. It's the brightest star in the northern sky is Sirius. So all we have to do is get high. And like I just said, you can get high by just breathing. So everything is that we got to take this thing, Devina, we got to take this thing to the next level, right? Like with your show, oh my God, your show is good, but man, we could just take this thing to the next level. We got to get high. We got to get high. And
a natural high. We're not talking about substance abuse.
No.
So we're talking about a natural high, right? And Charlie,
Charlie don't do drugs. Charlie don't do drugs. He just does the God drug.
Neither does Devina. And I've never tried any marijuana or anything else. I don't smoke. I don't drink. So we, like Charlie, naturally high, and that high comes from meditation, connection to the self, know thyself. So that's what Charlie's all about. That's what my mission is all about, even though it happens to be sexy brilliant. So my daughter's here, and she's howling, and she's like, why do you talk so serious all the time? Which is Sirius. And Charlie, the Sirius is it the binary star with Earth?
Yeah. Hey guys, got a lot of dogs. Yeah. So it is binary. Two by bull, the two bulls, the old bull and the new bull, and the Old Testament and the New Testament, old ancient wisdom, new age, new wisdom. So yeah, it's about this duality, and of course where we find ourselves right now is like I said, where we are today. And this is November 6th, another very powerful day. And what did I keep saying? I've been foreshadowing this for months now, that yesterday, remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. Let me do that. V for vendetta? No. V for Virgo, for virgin, for vagina, which is the internal passageway to the inner realm, and the goddess of the womb. And then of course we have another V up here, which is where the pineal gland is, and that is the passageway to another world, and that is the metaphysical world, which is to God, which is the Father. So we have two portals, the vagina, which is to that inner room, which is a womb, because we're little babies, and all little baby, we don't really say our R's very well, do we? We just say W's. So the inner womb is the inner womb, right? I'm really saying room, but I said womb because we're little babies. And in the physical form, we are little babies. We see little, we understand little, and ultimately we accomplish very, very little. So the whole purpose to everything is to rise. And so in doing this, what I've done by sort of being this weird person in the beginning of the show here is to kind of foreshadow the two songs that we've got at the front end of the show here, because this is everything. It's going to help guide us with what's needed over the next basically 10 days, I would say, to help us through all of this election turmoil and the division that exists everywhere. It's not just in America, it's everywhere. And this is what we need. So where we're at, what I just described is father, is mother, and that we are the child in the womb. And we have to go from the womb to the room. You see, we have to grow. And when we rise up, we grow and we become a man. And we have to become the best man because we have to be the witness to return the mother to the father. And the thing that is incredible, what I'm absolutely going to do to blow you away. And I love doing this because this is pop culture. This is pop culture. So these are two of the best songs of all time, but these are two of the most popular songs. They were like both, I think, like number one hit singles. So these are two of the most popular songs of all time, and they are sharing to you the answer, the way. They're teaching you the Bible. Both of these are teaching you the direct, most important singular message of the New Testament of the Bible, or of that of the Bhagavad Gita as well. This is the journey of man. This is the way, and this is the father, the mother, and the child. So as Devina will just give her time to cue them up, we're going to start when Devina is ready. We're going to start with the Doobie Brothers, Black Water. Oh, black water, keep on rolling, Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on? So what does this song mean? I want you to really, really, really take deep breaths. Get out of your head and into your mind. Get out of your head and into your mind, and go to that inner room. And do not judge, listen, observe, become the observer, because where I'm going to take you, where I'm going to decode this song is going to blow you away. So when you're ready, Devina, the Doobie Brothers, Black Water, number one.
Charlie, I'm getting ready, and I just wanted to, people who are watching from the Sexy Brilliant community, I just wanted you guys to know that our focus today is on the elections, because it's a historic time. We wanted to open up the platform for that discussion. So we will come back to more spiritual teachings from Charlie and Colleen. And having said that, what I forgot to mention in the intro was that Charlie is also a musician, and he's written the top 1,000 hits of all times, Charlie?
I have a book series, which is the 150 most important rock albums in music history. 150 most important rock albums. I published 6. All 150 are done. It just takes time to edit them and publish them, and I've had no time. But I will. I'll find the time. I'm looking for help out there for any one of you who wants to take that task on for me, to help me with the editing and the self-publishing, and we can get all 150 of those incredible books out. So yeah, because the artists that make up that list, the albums that make up the list, the songs that comprise those albums, of which these 2 songs are part of, they're all teaching you about God. They're all teaching you about the mother. They're all teaching you about the child. They're teaching you about Jesus Christ and the journey of Jesus Christ. This song, Mississippi Moon, is all about Jesus Christ rising. So let's listen, and I'm warning you, you're gonna get blown away. This is amazing.
Okay, Charlie, we're ready for the Blackwater Doobie Brothers with lyrics. Charlie, can you go on mute, please?
Yeah.
Mississippi, she's calling my name. Catfish are jumping, that paddle wheel bumping, black water keep rolling on fast just the same. Oh, black water, keep on rolling. Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on me? Oh, black water, keep on rolling. Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on me? Oh, black water, keep on rolling. Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on me? Yeah, keep on shining your light. Gonna make everything great. Mama gonna make everything alright. And I ain't got no worries, 'cause I ain't in no hurry at all. Well, if it rains, I don't care, don't make no difference to me. Just take that streetcar, let's go uptown. Yeah, I like to hear some funky Dixieland and dance a funky tongue. And I'll be buying everybody drinks all around. Oh, black water, keep on rolling. Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on me? Oh, black water, keep on rolling. Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on me? Oh, black water, keep on rolling. Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on me? Keep on shining your light, gonna make everything gonna make everything alright. And I ain't got no worries, 'cause I ain't in no hurry at all. Take me by the hand, pretty mama, come and dance with your daddy all night long. I like to hear some funky Dixieland, pretty mama, come and take me by the hand. By the hand, take me by the hand, pretty mama, come and dance with your daddy all night long. I like to hear some funky Dixieland, pretty mama, come and take me by the hand. By the hand, take me by the hand, pretty mama, come and dance with your daddy all night long. I like to hear some funky Dixieland, pretty mama, come and take me by the hand. Come on, baby, take me by the hand, pretty mama, come and dance with your daddy all night long. I like to hear some funky Dixieland, pretty mama, come and take me by the hand. By the hand, pretty mama, come and take me all night long. I like to hear some funky Dixieland, pretty mama, come and take me by the hand.
Thank you, Charlie. That was a great song.
It really is. Can you hear me okay, Devina?
Yes, we are just getting a little bit of
With Wix e-commerce, you can do just that. Meet Angel, founder of this.
So, Devina, while you're getting the next song queued up to go, let me just take the listeners just quickly through Black Water. Now, these two songs, I picked these two songs because they're telling the same story. So once again, they came out about the same time, 74, 76, both very, very popular songs. And yet they're also very, very deep, sacredly, massively important lyrics, because they're teaching us the one story. They're teaching us the one story through essentially, the same perspective as well. And, in both stories, we're looking at ultimately going to the Father. And in both stories, what we're looking at is the child and the mother. And it's very interesting because the mother and child reunion is only a heartbeat away, right, Paul? So this is sort of where we're at here. So in the song, you know, it's Huck Finn, it's, you know, Huckleberry Finn on the raft down the Mississippi River, but it's way more than that. It's the Mississippi moon, of course, is the mother. And if you just look at the word Mississippi, if you're ever wondering, you know, the creators of naming this river and why they named it what they named it is because it is the sacred feminine, the Mississippi River. And just all you have to do is just look at the letters that are in it is Isis, Isis. So there's the double feminine, Isis, Isis, and that is, of course, the moon goddess Sin exalting above us through the moon, which rules over our five physical senses through our emotions. And that is the wrong path. That is the left-hand path. And then, of course, there is the pure virgin mother, where the catfish are jumping up and to the right. And that is the pure virgin mother who needs to rise. So that's why there's two Isises in Mississippi, M for mother, magnetism, Mary. And in it, there are the two Isis, the higher feminine and the lower feminine. So basically left path, right path, okay? And left brain, right brain. So in the song...
Absolutely beautiful, Charlie.
Thank you. So in the song, the catfish are jumping, signifying the desire. Cats have 9 lives. 9 is divine. 9 is the letter I. That's the single I. That's all that an I is. It's a single I. And that's the number 9, and the number 9 is divine. And the catfish, which cats have 9 lives, and they're jumping because they want to get to heaven. But remember that paddle wheel thumping, and the paddle wheel thumping is your left brain, and that is the samsara, and that's the wheel that goes round and round and round, and it's physical, and it's thumping and pounding back into the water. And all along, the black water keeps rolling on past just the same. In other words, that's what life is. Life is a river that flows endlessly. And that's what the black water signifies. Without judgment, it just rolls on and on and on. And you get to choose. Are you the catfish jumping up and to the right? Or are you the paddle wheel thumping down again and again and again? Remember, we children of God, this is mankind, so it doesn't matter man or woman, we are electrical beings. Nikola Tesla taught us this. We are transverse waves, which are temporal or temporary waves. We are a downward causation. We will constantly fall. Left to ourselves, remember those hands I was talking about? Left to ourselves, we will constantly fall. Therefore, we need something that will rise. Well, what's the only other form of energy? If electricity is a downward causation, then we better hope that the only other form of energy is a rising energy. And that's magnetism. And that starts with the letter M, which is Mary, which is mother, which is mag, motion, movement. And that is magnetism. And magnetism can be defined by its waves, or wave, and that is the scalar, or some call Tesla wave, and that makes this shape. And I've done this so many times, and this, of course, is the eternal 8, and it rises and comes back home, and rises and comes back home, and rises and comes back home. So magnetism is constantly rising, and that's the mother. Therefore, if we, the child, plan on getting back to heaven from where we fell from heaven, because we're electrical and we fall, then we must rise. And the only way we can rise is through the mother. And this is what's called the Kundalini rising. And that's what this song is all about. Yep, #1 hit single, and nobody knows. And the entire song is, which Isis are you calling on? And if it's the pure virgin mother, Mary within, and she will take you on this sacred journey up and up and up and up. And we go from the little baby in the womb to the man in the room. And we have to become the best man, because we have to give away the mother to the father, which we'll get to at the end of the song. So that's sort of the overview to the song. Well, if it rains, I don't care. It don't make no difference to me. Just take that streetcar that's going uptown. What's the streetcar that's going uptown? The streetcar is you transversing yourself inside through your chakra system. So you see, through the spine, through the energy centers about the spine, which are your chakras. And that's taking the streetcar that's going uptown to the upper room. So it's a metaphor. You see, that's how the Bible is written. That's how the Bhagavad Gita was written. They're all allegories. They're metaphors for the ultimate journey that we must do. So if the left brain is raining down upon us with nothing but problems, I love Trump, I hate Biden, I love Trump, I hate Biden, I don't care, don't make no difference to me. Just take that streetcar that's going uptown and it's going to Godland. Yeah, I'd like to hear some funky Dixieland and dance a honky tonk, and I'll be buying everybody drinks all around. Now, those sound like they're just silly throwaway words until you do the etymology on these words, and then they begin to mean very, very profound things. So with an example of funky Dixieland, Dixie is, we attribute it to the deep south of America, but essentially Dixie means where you don't take things seriously. In other words, you're not taking judgment. Dixieland, to be in Dixieland, is to be in a place where you're not judging, you are the observer. and to funky, to funk, is to be outside of rules and regulations. It's sort of like to be free. So the funky Dixieland is where you are not tied or bound to any beliefs. You're free to become the observer, and then you can dance the honky tonk, which is to be free and to blast your horn, beat the pineal gland, and then I'll be buying everybody drinks all around, because you're in a state of nirvana, you're in a state of bliss, and this is the allegory of everybody buying, or I'll be buying everybody drinks all around. So old black water, which is the river of life, just keeps on rolling. Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on me? I hope so. And you notice how in the hook of the song, the chorus of the song, it's 3 times, father, mother, child, 3 times, always 3 times. Old black water, keep on rolling. Mississippi moon, won't you keep on shining on me? And then it's keep on shining your light. Gonna make everything, pretty mama, gonna make everything all right. You see, in these songs all the time, they're constantly using that term, all right. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right, baby, baba, father. Okay. And all right is how you get to the father, because it's going to be all right if we go all to the right. We have to go to the right. So going to make everything all right. So that is telling us that he's talking about the Virgin Mother. Okay, so the Mississippi, we are raising the Virgin Mother from below to high. So we've chosen the catfish. The catfish are a jumping, okay, not the paddle wheel that's thumping. And I ain't got no worries, because I ain't in no hurry at all. And when hurry is an allegory, hurry is a metaphor, and hurrying is when you're thinking. When you're thinking, you're in a hurry. And that's how they teach us to think, right? Am I right? Am I right? Go to school, back to school. Think of those horrific memories of school and being in school. What does the teacher do? Billy, what's the answer? I wasn't even really paying attention. I don't know. Detention. I'll see you for half an hour detention later after school. Cindy, what's the answer? Good girl, Cindy. Here's a little, cat kibble here. But it's dog. It doesn't matter. Eat it. Just shut up and eat it. So that's what they're teaching you to do, is that thinking is something to be done quickly, right? So then it's not really thinking, is it? It's kind of just a reflex. Yeah. And then they control our reflexes. If it was really, really, really thinking, then it would be reflection, which would then require silence, stillness and silence. But that's not the teaching that they teach us. Their teaching is regurgitation and then reflexology, where we just reflex the answer very quickly. So that's why I ain't got no worries, because I ain't in no hurry at all, means he's not taking thought. Take no thought. So that's how you know that the child in the song on the raft, right? Remember at the beginning? Well, I built me a raft and she's ready for floating. That's the first line of the song. Well, I built me a raft and she's ready for floating. Yeah, that's the chrism oil within you. The raft is Jesus Christ. Well, I built me a raft and she's ready for floating. Old Mississippi, she's calling my name. And those catfish are jumping, the paddle wheel thumping. And so it's always a choice between everything. That's why Jesus was tempted 40 days and 40 nights in the desert. And that's why in the next song, we're going to get to this 40,000. It's all about this journey past the temptation of the paddle wheel thumping to remain the catfish a jumping. Okay. So now, and then after that second verse and the second play of the chorus, then we get to the extended outro to the song, where 7 times, I've counted them, you can do the same. 7 times they go back through this refrain in the outro of the song. I like to hear some funky Dixieland, pretty mama, come and take me by the hand, take me by the hand, pretty mama, come dance with your daddy all night long. To hear some funky Dixieland, pretty mama, come and take me by the hand. So what's being said? 7 times, God intervention, God intervening, miracle in our life, bringing us home. So I'd like to hear some funky Dixieland. So once again, funky Dixieland is the observer, free from beliefs, free from thought. And so I'd like to hear some free thought, freeness, which is the connection to God thought. Pretty mama, Virgin Mary, come rising and take me by the hand. That's exactly how this one story plays out, isn't it? Because Jesus has to rescue the damsel in distress from the dragon. The dragon is the ego of the left brain. Jesus must kill the beast within him to allow Mary to have the confidence to leave the safety of the womb. And then she rises, and they go hand in hand. Mother and child reunion is taking the hand. It is the raising of the Kundalini, which is the raising of the chrism oil. They're one, and it's the same deal. It's the same process, because Jesus can't rise without the mother, and the mother can't rise without Jesus killing the dragon, the beast, the hydra, which is the ego. So that's how this all relates. Take me by the hand, pretty mama. Now, mama, come and dance with your daddy all night long, which is my daddy, which is everybody's daddy, which is God. And you see, this is the alchemical marriage. Oh my God, is this song freaking amazing. #1 hit single, Pat Simmons, the Doobie Brothers. And what's he singing about? He's singing about raising the chrism oil, Jesus Christ, Christ consciousness within us, raising up by the Kundalini, the Mother Mary, free and rising, uncoiling 3.5 times, and come and dance with your daddy all night. Oh, all night long is within meditation. So you're in the darkness within. So you're within and you're raising the mother, and that's what the best man does. We have to become Jesus Christ, who is the best man. And we put the hand of the mother into the hand of the father, and they dance all night long. And then we are so happy and we are so in bliss that we buy everybody drinks all around, because we are in absolute bliss. And then this refrain, this outro plays itself 7 times, because this is the miracle. This is God intervention, bringing the mother and the child back home to the father. And when we do, what have we created? And there it is. There it is. The pyramid, the triangle, the 3. This is it. The Holy Trinity. This is what it's all about. And so from a very musical level. It is just a song that you cannot get out of you. Once it's inside of you, it won't leave. It is just so infectious. It's so beautiful. It's one of the greatest songs ever written. And now lyrically, you see Pat Simmons. Pat Simmons never wrote anything about this desire to exalt himself to heaven, about the celebration of the Christ consciousness within us rising to the Father, mother, child. It's just so beautiful. So Devina, if you're ready, now we're going to blow you away even more so with the second song for today. And when you're ready, I'll mute my mic and we can listen.
I'm ready. And Charlie, that was beautifully explained. And somebody wants to know, and we're trying not to name names. So if you want your name to be called out, let us know so I can mention you on air. Somebody wants to know, what does this have to do with the elections?
It has everything to do with the election, because where we're at right now is the division, and the division ultimately is within ourselves. And so for you to have the peace of mind necessary to get through this, have that peace of mind. I'm showing you how to have peace of mind. This is why it's so important, because when we finish today, when we finish talking about you're going to need to have patience. You're going to need to have faith and faith. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so let's go. Let me just mute my. No, I can't mute you. Let me mute you. Everybody, can you please let us know that you can hear the song? Thank you.
All of times have come, here but now they're gone. Seasons don't feel the reapers, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain. Come on, baby, don't feel the reaper. Baby, take my hand, don't feel the reaper. We'll be able to fly, don't feel the reaper. Baby, I'm the man. La, 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 la. Valentine is done. Here but now they're gone. Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. Romeo and 40,000 men are women every day. 40,000 men are women every day. Every 40,000 cover every day. Come on, baby, don't feel the reaper. Baby, take my hand, don't feel the reaper. We'll be able to fly, don't feel the reaper. Baby, I'm your man. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. Love to wisdom, feel but now they're gone. Came a last night of sadness, and she was thinking she couldn't go on. cobras open out the window clear. The candles blew and then disappeared. The curtains flew and then disappeared. Don't be afraid. Come on, baby, you should have no fear. She ran to him. They looked backward and said goodbye. She had taken his hand. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper.
Beautiful. Thank you, Charlie. And that was
You're welcome.
Don't Fear the Reaper. And there we go. Charlie, what's that song?
By Blue Oyster Cult. So, what's in a name? First off, folks, go back to the previous song by the Doobie Brothers. Doobie is a slang reference for cannabis. And when you breathe in or you inhale cannabis, what does it do? Everybody knows it gets you high, right? It's all about getting high. Everything is about taking this seriously, right? Serious up in the sky. It's all about getting high. We got to take this thing to the next level, dude, right? It's all about getting high. It's all about rising. So Doobie Brothers is on one very left brain simple level, a reference, slang reference to smoking a doobie, but at the very high to the right brain side, it's taking this seriously, going within and getting high, rising, which is what Pat Simmons wrote about in Blackwater, right? Rising, the story of the chrism in Jesus Christ. Amazing. So Blue Oyster Cult, what's in a name? Blue, reference for the Tiffany blue skies of heaven, and the cult of those who worship the oyster, which of course is the pearl, which is the beautiful Virgin Mother that is produced in a hallowed place, which is the shell, which is protected, which is within the temples, which is the Father. So Father, Mother, Child, Blue Oyster Cult is a symbology for those who go within, those who raise the chrismal, those who achieve the Holy Trinity. It's gorgeous. These are beautiful bands, beautiful rock stars writing hit songs that are signifying God, the Sacred Father, the Sacred Mother, and the Child Jesus Christ. It's amazing. So look at the title of the song. Please notice the title. The title is, in brackets, Don't Fear. Bracket, don't fear, end of bracket, the Reaper. Don't fear. Why would he put don't fear inside the brackets? The brackets are your temples. The brackets are the number 11. Don't fear. You can't have fear when you go within. You can't have fear when you connect to God via the inner room. Moving on uptown, moving on up to that higher room. That higher room is the third ventricle of your brain, where fear does not exist. Don't fear inside the temple. The Reaper is what happens out there. You don't have to fear the Reaper out there, right? Cutting down the crops from year to year and year and putting another notch on your belt. If you have Passover, if you have Passover within you, and you go within yourself and you put the blood of the perfect lamb upon your brow, then the Reaper passes over you and you don't grow old. That's the whole symbology of Passover and why they replaced it with Easter and let's have sex and chocolate Easter bunnies and candy. And it's all about chocolate and Easter bunnies and what was that other? I don't remember. So, yeah, Passover is everything. It's you doing the work, 40 days of Lent, 40 days a night, right? 40 days before the Passover is you for 40 days and nights going on that inner journey within you to say no to Lucifer in the left brain and to say yes, casting that net to the right in God eternally in the right hemisphere of the brain. That's wandering the dead. That's what Lent is all about, is this process of going within, preparing yourself to receive the gift of the Holy Passover. And that is where death will pass you over. So let's take a look at the song. I know that was a lot to go over, but you see the symbology is everywhere with these bands. All our times have come here, but now they're gone. Here and now, here and now, here and now. All our times have come here, but now they're gone. When we take thought, we destroy everything that God had just spent all that time building up. So every time we think, we take away the now. That we go back into linear time of a past and a future, and we forget all about the now. When we're just with God, when we're taking no thought, when we're going within ourselves in stillness and silence, that's the here and the now. And that is the eternal moment of peace and eternal bliss. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, and the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. We'll be able to fly. Don't fear the reaper. Baby, I'm your man. I'm your man. Who's the man? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. And mama, don't fear death. Take my hand. We'll be able to fly. Jesus isn't saying that he can fly. Together they can fly, because the mother is magnetism, which is the scalar wave, which is the rising force, the kundalini, which is rising, and together we'll be able to fly. Baby, I'm your man. And I'm your man. Jesus is the man, because he slew the dragon in the left hemisphere of the brain. So it's just so beautiful. We can be like the seasons. We can be like the wind, the sun, and the rain, which are the pure representations of the Father, right? The pureness of the Father, worrying about nothing. But we take thought and we destroy everything. So you see, the wind doesn't think. The sun and the rain don't think, they do. Seasons don't think, they do. And the seasons are rising and they're falling and they're rising and they're falling and they're dying. There's lots of, they don't fear anything because they take no thought. They're with God in all moments. Valentine is done. Now I want to bring this up because this is very important. They've once again lied to you about Valentine and Valentine's Day. Valentine is this process of preparing for the new year, which is the first day of spring, the rising of man. And Valentine refers to taking and creating in February a sweet heart in preparation for the Passover, okay? Which is approximately 40 days after Valentine's Day to the first day of, depending on, how these dates relate and when they're doing them. But essentially, that's what it's meant to be. Valentine's Day is this 40 days at the beginning of Lent where we have to choose to take the sweetheart. That's where the sweetheart came from. In no, it's not, Charlie, it's candy. And they give you a roll, and then it's got all these different sayings on them. It gives you cavities and stuff, but it tastes really good. No, a sweet heart is a heart of purity. It is taking the beautiful, sacred, feminine mother within you and rising, or you're choosing to cast thy net to the right. A sweetheart is 40 days before the first day of spring, before Passover, and you've chosen the right-hand path, which is the sweet heart. See how they've changed the truth on you? Valentine's Day is the start of this 40 days and night, this journey to prepare you to receive the gift of eternal life in the first day of spring, Passover, where death passes you over. No, Charlie, I'm pretty sure it's about peppermint candies and the chocolate Easter bunnies. I don't know what you're smoking, Charlie, but maybe you should give me some. Here, but now they're gone. Romeo and Juliet. Right? They've been used so many times. It's not any one person or any one thing. Romeo and Juliet is like, in V for Vendetta, it's V is not a person. He is a concept. He's an idea, and you can't kill an idea. You can't shoot an idea. An idea is eternal. We have to become more than just the physical man. That's symbology, Romeo and Juliet together in eternity, because they chose to become an idea, a concept, a feeling, versus then two physical things. Okay? So Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. 40,000 men and women every day, like Romeo and Juliet. 40,000 men and women every day redefine happiness. Another 40,000 coming every day. 1, 2, 3. Once again, we're always seeing the three, right? We're always seeing father, mother, child. 40,000, 120,000, 12 completion, because it's the three fours, the fourfold nature of man: father, mother, child. You see how beautiful this is? And just so that you know, the symbology of the 40. So why did Jesus have to go through the desert for 40 days? Why did Moses go through the desert for 40 years in preparation for everything that he was called to do? What's this 40? And then in the song 40,000, 40 is this journey because it is Valentine Day. That's why it's in the song. That's why the lyric with Valentine came before the chorus, the bridge here. And Valentine, Passover, Easter. So at the preparation to receive the gift of eternal life, you have to take this seriously. This is so serious. All of this is serious, right? We got to take this thing seriously. What's serious to us in the northern hemisphere? It's the brightest star in the sky. It's the dog star. How do you spell? If you look in the mirror, dog spells what? God. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. That's why dog is spelled. That's why dog is given the name dog. Look in the mirror. That's what you do when you look into a puppy's eyes. You're looking into a mirror, and there you see yourself, your true self, and that connection, that love. You would never hurt that animal. You just want to give everything that you are and have to cherish and to love and to heal and to just commit to this. That's what we have to do to all animals. That's what all animals are. All animals are there to remind us of who we are. They're mirrors to our souls. You see, that's why dog, and dog is God. That's why so beautiful. It's all so beautiful. 40,000. That's the significance. Okay, we can be like they are. Come on, baby, Baba. Come on, take my meal together. We'll be able to mother and child reunion. They will fly. Now, of two is one. And you truly know what is when you truly connect to the Father. You is one. The oneness of the love in the moment, the eternal love to the Creator in the moment. That's everything. The love of two is one. There's no greater number than one, and yet it's the building block for everything, right? Here, but now they're gone. Came the last night of sadness. We're in this election. This election is just insanity, and we're coming soon to this last night of sadness. And it was clear that she couldn't go on. The door was open, though, and the wind appeared. The candles blew, and then they disappeared. The curtains flew, and then he appeared, saying, "Don't be afraid. Come on, baby." And she had no fear, and she ran to him. Then she started to fly. They looked backward and by. Become like they are. 30,000 who came before, who took this seriously, who went on the journey, 40 days of Lent to the Passover. And she became like they are, eternal. And then she looked back and said goodbye, because she had become like they are. She had taken his hand. She had become like they are. Come on, baby, Baba, don't fear the reaper. Okay? So to finish this off and to complete the explanation of this, came the last night of sadness. It was clear that she couldn't go on out there. The world out there is so vile and disgusting, and we must say no to the left-hand path, to the left brain, to thinking, and to people call you a bad name and you feel terrible because somebody else doesn't like you or something. It has no bearing on you whatsoever. So it's letting go. So that's what that means. Came the last night of sadness is choosing to let go. It was clear that we can't go on in this insanity, so we have to let go. So you see the significance here of letting go? The door was open. You've let go. There's no more locks on your doors. There's no more locks on your windows. You've let go. The doors and the windows are open. And then what happens? The wind appeared. What's the wind? The breath of God. The breath of God. And then the candles blew and then disappeared, because you're getting rid of the out there light for the in here light. And then, so the lights out there had to disappear. And then the curtains flew, and then he appeared. Who's he? The one. And the one appeared only when we let go, only when we take no thought, only when we go within and we let go. And he said, don't be afraid. And it's in brackets. It's in brackets. It's a call. So it's in brackets. So why would that be in brackets? Don't be afraid, because God is within the temples. Remember, the brackets are the number 11, are your two temples. And from within the two temples, God said, don't be afraid. And Jesus says, come on, baby. And then she had no fear and she ran to him. Then she started to fly. And then Jesus says, they look back, and they look back, which is the father and the mother, and said goodbye. She had become like they are. She had taken his hand. She had become like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. This, again, is the alchemical marriage between the father and the mother, and Jesus had to bring her here. This isn't a song about a death cult, a suicide pact, or a suicide club that the mainstream media tried to sell you this on. This isn't about suicide. This isn't about death. This is about eternal life. They take the opposite of the truth and turn it upside down. This song has been just attacked over time because it is the truth of truths. He put it in plain sight for you. This is the journey of man, Jesus Christ, to return the mother to the father. We have to become Jesus because he was the best man. And the best man is the witness at the wedding of the father and the mother, the alchemical wedding. And remember, like I said, in the third ventricle of your brain, at the very, very uppermost, right-handmost part of the third ventricle, the last room, when the fornix, the rock, rolls back and reveals that last chamber. What's that chamber called? That is the chamber of the bridegroom. Bride and groom. Why do you think the chamber of the bridegroom, the alchemical marriage, that's our journey? Sixth chakra, pineal gland, the portal to God.
Like Trump and teaching us to work the level. When you look at these songs and these lyrics and things like that, you are able to take it to all these levels. And it's incredible because like you said, we're taught that they're just like songs about drugs or sex or rock and roll. And when you really start to look at them, there's a deeper meaning, and there's another level and another level. And it's really beautiful because it gives you a whole new perspective when you listen to these songs, and it's a beautiful gift. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, you're so welcome, sweetheart. And again, V for Vendetta, a lot of stuff has come out in the last 48 hours that maybe John F. Kennedy Jr. Was perhaps involved. Maybe the Kennedy family was involved in the financing of the making of the movie V for Vendetta. Robert Kennedy Jr. was at the special secret showing of the movie, and Robert Kennedy was there. And there's a very famous photo of Robert Kennedy with somebody in the Guy Fawkes mask, which we have on good authority as John F. Kennedy Jr. So then we know the actor Hugo Weaving played in a couple of scenes. He played the physical character of V, but mostly he was just the voice. So then who was playing behind the mask in the movie? Who was playing the character of V? I don't know. Was it John F. Kennedy Jr.? In the movie Atlas Shrugged, who was playing in the first two movies, all masked and covered up in disguise? Who was playing John Galt? John F. Kennedy Jr., right? I mean, the ties to these movies and this movement and John F. Kennedy Jr. Are massive. And by the way, think of the movie. I know probably a lot of you watched, like we did last night again, just one of the greatest, most important movies ever done. And you know, what was the name of the female character in the movie? Evie. Evie is just a play on Eve, the sacred feminine. And she went from the moon goddess Sin, who was ruled over by her emotions, afraid. And then along came Jesus Christ, who was V for victory. And V taught her no longer to fear. And when she no longer feared, when he killed the ego, then Evie became Eve. And she took all of this seriously, and she rose. And it was Eve who rose the lever and allowed the train to go to the Parliament building and to take the concept of V to not just a man, but an idea. And you can't kill an idea. You can't kill a concept. And so once again, in the movie last night, you heard this song. You heard these two songs, Black Water, Don't Fear the Reaper, V for Vendetta. They're all showing you, they're all telling you this one story that we all must do. And I apologize for going through all of this. Some of you may not see or appreciate the importance of what I'm doing here, but this is to help you, because in the next 10 days, the next 40 days, it's going to take peace of mind for you to be able to weather the storm that is out there. Remember, this is the eye of the hurricane, and everywhere outside of the eye is the hurricane, and there's no path in and there's no path out. You're meant to stay in here. This is what it means, stay indoors. Stay indoors is stay in the third ventricle of your brain, which is your connection to God. So with all of that, let's pass it back to Devina and let's start the show in earnest, and let's get those haters and angry people and worried people, and let's get those questions about the election going, Devina.
Thank you, Charlie. And yes, there's a lot of comments coming in. Oh, by the way, well, let's welcome Colleen Marie into the show, please. Colleen they're both in Mexico, and we're so grateful that you are here. Thank you. Number one. Number two, well, Mary the Mother. Charlie's number one. So we do have a lot of questions, and people are saying, what do the songs have to do with the elections, and is Biden going to be declared the winner? And I mean, there's a lot of people who are saying we did not know the song as well. So thank you so much for all of that. Like lots of mixed comments, but people also, I just want to encourage everybody on YouTube, on Facebook, on Periscope, that please share this video. We want to invite more people through this discussion and dialogue, and help Charlie's and Colleen's teaching go viral even more, because the message that they're sharing is so important. And like Charlie said, it's all about the division, and we want to stop the division and again connect to the inner world that we all live in. So Charlie, we've got are we okay to invite some of our guests in?
Absolutely.
We have a lot of questions.
Absolutely. Is Greg there? Was Greg able to connect in? Galactic Greg. Yeah.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, Greg. We love you, man.
Everybody say hi to Galactic Greg. And Greg, just quickly, 30 seconds, introduce yourself to the Sexy Brilliant community, and then the floor is yours.
Yeah, just a delay.
Unmute the mic, Greg.
There we go.
Should be good now.
Greg, we cannot hear you. Can anybody hear Greg on YouTube? While Greg is waiting for his microphone to start, I'm going to read another question and I'll also ask everybody to please share this video. We need your help to make sure that we're helping more people. Greg, are you back online? Okay, so while, Greg, we still cannot hear you. So, Charlie, while we're waiting for Greg, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what's going on, and will Biden be declared the winner, or is Trump going to be declared the winner? Thank you. Charlie, you are on mute right now. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, so right after the election, very early the next morning, Colleen and I got up early and we did a series of posts, one of which was a really big, important one. And essentially, it's basically telling you to, you know, again, relax, enjoy the show. There's a 107 has already done 2, he doesn't do tons of them, but he's already done 2 live shows. And both times Juan is just telling you, relax, relax, relax. He's going to go home up somewhere high. I don't know. He's going high all the time. And he's going to relax and, you know, dream about his truck with a lot of power in it. And so to not take this seriously, overly seriously, become the observer. Don't become the fretter, the worrier, become the observer. Just observe what's going on, observe the evil ones and how they operate and what they're doing, and then know. And because all of this is
it's all part of the plan.
This
is all part of the most incredible plan. And we can't see it right now, and we're still freaking out. Well, some of us are. And but it's really important that, like I was talking about earlier, the 5D level of play at which Trump and the Q team are playing. So they have to expose right now the media, and this is how they're going to do it. So they are exposing the vote fraud, and they're exposing the media compliance, and they're all going down. So this is very important. It's a very important time right now, and it has to happen. And they may even go to the point where Biden wins, and there's this, a speech that he gives and whatever. We're not sure, but that it could go to that place, right? And then they will bring in all of the
swiftly.
Very swiftly, they will bring in the truth.
Yeah, you have to have a SWIFT code, or you can't have any finances. You can't have your fortune without a SWIFT code, right? There's no oil in the lamp. There's no money in the bank unless you have a SWIFT code. So all of this is so you're asking, why allow it to go so far? There's a reason. The reason is that the Democratic Party has to, steal the election. Then it's so important for the media, the mainstream media, to call it. They're the ones who are calling this as Joe Biden the winner. You've heard them nonstop saying that there's no evidence, absolutely no evidence. Trump's just a whining in the office and there's no evidence. Oh, really? Really? Really?
So when they take this to
I got to
the court,
sort back from carrying so much evidence of the Democratic collusion in this. It's insane. So observe them, watch them. But this is what's really, really important here, is that we have to allow them to the mainstream media to award the presidency to Biden. That's step 1. Step 2 is that Biden has to say, I accept, I am the new president. I have won. Once those 2 things occur, then the SWIFT code, right? Can't have money in your bank without a SWIFT code. Then the SWIFT code applies unilaterally. No one left out of prison. They're all going down. Greg, do you have your microphone going now?
Hi, Greg. Can you hear us?
So Charlie, let me ask you something. So as you know, the elections are only official till they've been registered. Can you explain about what I'm talking about? That the elections are only official when they are registered. The media can say whatever it wants. Any party leader can say whatever it wants. But what does it mean, registration of an election?
Well, it's that all of the parties have to agree on this. So it's just like any kind of legal contract, that, you know, all of the X's are marked and therefore signed. But there's a protocol. Remember, in court, you know, you can have a contract on paper, you can have a contract in words, and you can have an implied contract as well. So they're all legal. So in this case, to take on legal ownership of this subterfuge that's gone on, of all of this criminal activity that's gone on, it's important for the media to award this. So they are defrauding their audience. So do you see the significance of this? When the media, the mainstream media, and remember, they're owned by Trump. They're being forced to do this, right? Yeah, this was their plan, for sure. This was their plan, but they don't.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Greg, great.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we sure can, Greg. Yeah, we can hear you now.
So Greg is back, and Greg, can you hear us? Well, it is the 6th of November, so you know. And Charlie, you can tell us a little bit about the 6th of November. Greg, can you hear us? Say hi. Yay, Greg's back. Okay, Greg, leave and come back to the studio, please. So, Charlie, just to continue and finish off
Sure. So just to
Did
complete.
we talk about the watermark yet?
Yeah. So just to complete that, what has happened has been allowed to happen. And remember, this was their plan, but it has been allowed to happen. And remember,
It's been allowed to play out.
that's right. And so even these clandestine groups that are going into these secured ballot central locations in each of these main polling places. So in Detroit, within Michigan, all these various major markets for each of these key states. And that's why they've all been photographed going in, because anons were just Johnny on the spot waiting for people to arrive at 4 a.m. And then what do we know about these votes already? What do we know about the votes at 4 a.m? The votes at 4 a.m, 100% went to Biden. So 100% of those votes went to Joe Biden. So there's just nothing but election fraud here. But it all has to play itself out. And let me again make this so clear. One, the mainstream media has to commit fraud by saying that they're awarding, that they've done their research, that they're comfortable, that the numbers are in, and they're awarding the election to Joe Biden and the Democrats. So that's them defrauding their audience. That's a federal crime. That is a treasonous crime as well, because it's a forcible overthrow of a government. Okay, so this is treason. And then the second thing is that it's very key that Biden has to accept this false crown, right? So the mainstream media is handing a crown to Biden. Biden has to receive the crown and put the crown upon his pointy little head. and say, yes, I accept that I am the new president. Once that is done, then the SWIFT code plays itself out. Now, there were some really cryptic comments from Q, and Q was talking about, this whole election, don't worry, don't fret, it's all watertight, right? This thing is all, Noah's Ark again.
Watch the water.
Yeah, the hatches are battened down, and we got to watch the water and the water levels, but everything is now watertight. And that's because what they've done is they've encrypted and printed a completely new batch of ballots for this election. So there should only be ballots from this new batch of ballots that were printed, and they've all been encrypted with this watermark that can be seen at a microscopic level. And so, in other words, that this has been a sting. The entire election has been a sting by the ruling government to see if somebody out there would attempt to bring out their ballots in to the process. And so, like, some key comments were made by some key people today, including Trump's lawyer. No ballots are going to be destroyed. No. They don't want to destroy any ballots. All ballots will be counted, and then all ballots will be examined. And any ballots that do not have a watermark on them, that do not have this microscopic etching upon on this paper, these special ballots, then those are frauds. And if you have attempted to defraud the presidential election, that is the overthrow of democracy. That is the overthrow of the country. Therefore, they're treason. This is treason. So this is the thing, Devina. Anybody, including these little minions with masks going into Detroit, Michigan's balloting headquarters at 4 a.m, with all of their little apparatus to bring in votes and to do all of these clandestine things, they are guilty of treason. And what did Trump pass with an executive order prior to all of this back in 2018?
Habeas corpus.
Treason is now rewarded with execution. It's an executable crime.
Wow.
So again, the bait was set, the trap was laid, the mice, the rats, right? Colleen and I always call them rats. The rats couldn't resist themselves. They took the cheese in the trap, and the trap has swung closed. So for any of you out there listening that are actually worried about any of this, don't fear the reaper. Don't fear the reaper. You have nothing to fear if you're with God. And remember, the plan that Collywog always talks about, and she knows this better than anyone else, the plan is not so much Trump and the Q team's plan, it's God's plan. And God is the creator. The creator always wins because he is the creator. Be on the right side of this. Be on the right side of this, and you're going to win. So there's no losing in any of this. That's why on election night when we did the show, by the way, you did such a great job, Devina. That's why all night people were commenting, Charlie was so calm. He was so relaxed in the face of things not going well at the polls. And by the way, Charlie was saying the red wave and that, it's 50 to 0. Hey, Charlie, it's not even close to 50. Really?
Patience.
Really? He didn't win 50 to 0. He didn't win in a massive landslide. Really? Well, maybe just wait and see.
Everything's been taking place behind the veil, and soon the veil will be lifted.
Maybe.
Well, the most surprising was Florida, where it was all red. And, there's so many mixed messages. Fox declares him a winner, then CNN is waiting. And you were like listening to it. It's like a soap opera. And you're so hooked to this news that you can't get away from it.
Yeah.
And you wake up in the morning and you want to, I want to go to the news again. I'm not talking about myself, but I'm talking about people around us. So,
are they talking about COVID anymore? I'm just curious.
No,
we don't watch the news.
Apparently COVID doesn't exist. So what's going on, guys? What happened to COVID? Any explanation for that? Media, CNN.
That's a phenomenon.
It is. So Galactic Greg is back. Let's try connecting now, Greg. We can't. Are you on like silent? We can't hear you.
You're muted right now, Greg. There you
Yeah.
go.
Nope.
Oh, muted again.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry, Greg, we cannot hear you. While we're waiting
That's
for
frustrating.
Greg,
Sorry, Greg.
Just keep bringing those questions, Devina, because we really do want to get through as many of the specific questions during the show. But again, what we're just reiterating to everyone, all of this was a trap. And while this is playing with our emotions and for some people tearing us up inside, what you all need to remember, the mainstream media has to fall. This is all about the rise and the fall of the mainstream media.
And I don't think that's disputed by anyone here. We know that they are the most toxic.
Yeah.
Incredibly
Can you hear
toxic.
me?
Yes, we can, Greg.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No?
yes,
We can. Yes.
Yes. Greg is back. Give it up, guys. Your wives
No.
are working.
Not on
Make sure you are
silent.
sharing this video. You are giving it a thumbs up, and make sure that you are inviting your community for the discussion and dialogue that we want to have today. Thank you so much, Greg. Go on.
All right. Hello? Hello?
We can hear you. We lost Greg again. So
Not meant to
Charlie.
be. Sorry, Greg.
So Charlie, just there are obviously a lot of questions coming in between Minnesota. Pam says, my husband just received a COVID survey from the Million Veterans Project. So just a lot of comments coming in, and big tech will try to wriggle itself out of claims of treason. Guys, make sure that you keep your questions coming. And I want to mention something, and Charlie, you can elaborate on this. The word broadcasting, which is what we do, what exactly what we're doing right now, which is what CNN does and Fox does and all the media does, is they're casting a spell on us.
Yes.
The spell is to keep us hooked so that we're so busy in the outside world that we forget all about our internal world.
Very, very good, Devina, because remember, broad is in the Bible. Broad is the spacious way that the many will take that always leads to a precipice, but they never realize they're at the precipice until they're hanging on to that one tree branch that's on the very edge and they're about to fall to their death. And then they wake up. So again, the path that is broad and spacious is the out there, is the left brain, is the wrong way. And what is the opposite then? Would be the straight and narrow path. And there's nothing straight and there's nothing narrow about the mainstream media.
Casting their spell broadly.
Yep. That's right. They're black witches, black warlocks.
Oh, just just give me so many shivers. Greg, can you hear us now?
Seems to be an issue that he cannot hear us, but then when he speaks, we can hear him.
So, and then guys, the watermark was a brilliant move. I mean, who would have thought? That is so smart.
5D chess player. So he's 10, like JC. JC was saying on our big show.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Greg.
It's quite a delay. Mm-hmm.
I want to apologize to all our viewers for the tech.
You can hear us? Okay, we can hear you,
Yeah,
Greg.
so if you can hear us, Greg, go ahead. Go ahead and share your thoughts.
Oh.
No, just not.
No, just not going to happen, unfortunately, with Greg. Greg, just such a wonderful guy and a very, very wise soul. Beautiful. So but we'll make arrangements to get Greg back on. So Devina, just keep coming with the questions. But yeah, the watermark is brilliant, and it's indicative of this thinking above. Now remember, one of the reasons why, again, we played those songs at the beginning is because there's a polarity to everything. Again, the hermetic principle is always in effect. This is what you get with Trump and the Q team. That's how you know that they're connected to God. And by the way, that's how you know the cabal is connected to the lizards, is connected to reptiles, is connected to the dragon and the hydra, because they don't create anything, have no imagination, and they fall for these traps always so easily.
And they can only pervert and invert.
They only pervert and invert. That's right, what somebody else has created. So the magical ideas, Devina, are all coming from the Trump team, aren't they? Trump is a thinker, which is the right brain. That's the right path. That's the right way. That's the straight and narrow path. That's how you can tell. That's how you know that they're on the right side of this. Okay, that's how you know. So keep those questions coming.
Thank you so much. And I want to welcome the people who are just joining in. You are listening to Brilliantly Sexy with Devina Kaur. And today we have spiritual teachers Charlie Freak and Colleen Marie, all the way from their animal sanctuary in Mexico. And Charlie's work went viral about 6 months ago. So that the episode with Mark Devlin, it is on Freak Sense TV. If you haven't watched it, please make sure that you are getting all the knowledge, the invaluable knowledge that you have, Charlie. So I want to ask you a question. How many animals as of today, 6th November?
Well, with Q2, with Q2, our second Q dog, Q2, who Colleen.
But we lost Q1. So
yeah, that's right. 45. Yeah, that's right. So it was 46 back to 45. That's right. So yeah, so we keep coming back to the divine 9 of 45 and the 45th president. So we keep tabbed into the 45th president pretty much all the time. And yeah, so it's an enormous amount of work, but we love it. And let me tell you something, Colleen truly is the sacred mother, because she heals. She heals all of us. She heals these dogs. And little Q2, our newest arrival, he's in such rough shape, and she has him quarantined right now because his mange is so bad, right?
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry. And we feel your energy. You know, your on-screen presence is so beautiful. You are the light. And, you know, we are at Sexy Brilliant. Our social mission is to remove toxic shame and to raise human consciousness. And as healers, we want you all who are watching to know that you are healers. First, we heal ourselves through silence and stillness, through self-knowledge, radical self-acceptance. And then from there, we heal the world around us. So coming back to today, we are focusing on the elections, and lots of questions coming in. Lokesh I am substituting for Lokesh. Lokesh is busy at work, actually. So just answering some. Teresa wants to know, I heard the watermark is a QVS, Q voting system mark, and that means that every single ballot is individually traceable.
Yes, that's right. So
blockchain.
That blockchain, and now the picture that's making the rounds like crazy yesterday and today is the dress that that Flotus was wearing just before the election, and she had on a blockchain dress. So when the NSA say that they have everything, they have everything. And then when people say that they have everything and nobody can stop what's coming, nobody can stop what's coming, because it is what it is. It is what it is. What is coming is what is. And justice. And because it's the truth. So what you're going to see is the verifiable truth. So you see, this is key. I need all of you to wrap your minds around this, and then breathe and relax, and then just see this as a show and enjoy the show. Everything that the Trump team is going to share is verifiable. So you need to know this. Everything that they've done since Trump entered the White House is verifiable. So it's provable. It means that everything that they now have done is also verifiable and provable as well. So without a doubt, you will see what is the provable truth and what is the provable lie. Where does the provable lie reside? It resides with the Democratic Party. It resides with the mainstream media. And then it resides to the shadowy network of people that includes, Hollywood entertainers and celebrities and other famous people that comprise this nefarious group of the cabal. So they have it all. There's nowhere that they can go. There's nowhere that they can run. And remember, all of this is attempting to overthrow a government. This is treason.
So we're watching a coup.
Yes, that we are watching a coup try and take place in plain sight, a modern day coup. And the result
It's epic. It's epic and it's biblical. It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. And there are those of us who are asleep and we don't see it. But honestly, for those of us who do, I mean, there can be moments of, you're watching a really scary movie. And even though you know the ending, there's times you still get scared. But you're like, no, remember. Okay, it's just a movie. They've got it all. Just be patient. Let's just watch the movie and try to enjoy it as much as you can, even though at times it does get scary. Yep.
Yeah.
We're watching something that history in the making right now. And this is where dark gets turned to light. There's her blockchain.
Yeah. And it's like, who would have thought this is like, it's also a very beautiful dress.
It is. She's a beautiful woman. Very beautiful woman. Inside and out.
Thank you for that. And then, wow, I just wanted to share that with you. And we're going to, Charlie, is it okay if we keep the screen sharing on to share stuff that you bring up?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great.
No, it's great. And again, remember the stuff that's going on with the mainstream media right now is sickening to listen to. It is really, really sickening. CNN is just vile. Colleen and I shared a little video clip where in plain sight, one of the CNN reporters is saying that, there's a delay because if any of you have worked with a computer, you know that it takes a long time to sort of, download things and then to sort and track things and then to scam votes. and remember, we're just out here in a parking lot and people are running papers to us and no. Nothing has changed, and I'm just asleep. And that's a real clip from CNN in the moment. Just melting, having another melting point again live on air, where they admit that they're scamming ballots, and then they're being told in their microphones to disavow what they just said. I mean, it's pathetic.
So from what we can gather, this will probably run itself, what do you think, all the way until the 11th, that there will be?
It's hard to say. That's why, days,
the next couple of days,
trying to give, like I did on election night, about a certain dates are always, a risk to do and probably shouldn't be done, because what's important is the plan and however long it takes. So it's hard to say. But again, the key here is that the signal for you to all be watching for is when Trump says the storm is upon us. That will likely come when the mainstream media calls the election for Biden, and then Biden has to accept the crown from the mainstream media. Then both parties are complicit in this attempted coup of a sitting government, and that is treason, and they'll all be dealt with for treason. And we know the penalty that Trump put in place for treasonous acts, which is the execution.
And they've alluded, the Q team has alluded to the fact that there has been a plan from the dark side for an internet kill switch, right? This is the 10 days of darkness that they were planning, I would imagine.
Yep.
And then, of course, there's the Q team, which we were told there could be a 10 days of darkness, where that means maybe the emergency broadcasting system. You hear that, and then we hear all of these. I would assume all of the unveiling of the truths coming out about the crimes that have been committed by these people that are trying to take over the coup. So we're kind of every moment, every day, we're kind of waiting. We're all just kind of anticipating something happening, you know. And it's just it's very, very, very interesting. So watch the water.
Yeah. So there, if you look at that map, if you go back up just a little bit there, if you look at that map, everyone, what you're looking at is where things are at right now. In terms of what has been verified. So just yesterday, I believe it was, that you had the Attorney General of Michigan on his own website announcing that in the recount in Michigan that Trump was ahead in the polls. And then at the very same time, you had Fox News announcing that Biden has won Michigan. And that there's no voter fraud.
So what is the brown right now?
So the brown, it signifies in this moment that is undecided or needs to be served. What people would call too close to call, but it's not that. It's just has to be sorted out. So
where they've probably been casting votes with no watermark on them, they have to be recounted.
That's right. And that's right. And again, you know, we're looking at where were the National Guard deployed in the 12 states where
let's just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How very interesting.
And so they're on top of this. They're on top of this big time. And so what you're basically looking at is the potentiality for the map to be entirely red. Because I told you before, and I'll say it again, that the red wave is very real, and that when you look at the vote, you're going to see it justifies from east to west a 50-0 victory by the Trump team, the Republicans, the red wave. So there is a possibility. I don't think they'll do that. I think what they'll probably do is allow Biden the 11 states that you're seeing right now, and that virtually everything else will be called for Trump. And so what you could be looking at is 450 to 88, which gets you to 538, and there's the completion of it. So that's a good map to look at, because truth be told, this is the reality of where things are at right now. Very different. And don't forget, Devina, that you muted your mic, so your mic is currently muted. So just remember that. But yeah, so that's essentially what we're looking at right now is the truth, which is very different from what the mainstream media is showing you.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, yeah, I switched to the phone. Enough with the computer.
Right.
Awesome.
All right. So, just to go back over and reiterate all that Charlie and Colleen just said, and also for your audience, Devina, because I know and I've felt it over the past few days, the energy of the collective is just all over the place. That so many people were expecting an absolute 50-0, thumping of Biden, and that would be it. And then, we'd move on to the land of milk and honey, Nassau, yay, peace on earth, there goes the swamp, and that's it in all one fell swoop. And I understand that that was one of the possible ways that it could have played out, obviously. That's one of the many truths that are out there. But again, what prompted me to post what I posted today on my Facebook page is to give people the understanding that if it did go that way, yes, that's great and everything. And, you know, with all the bells and whistles it comes with, but at the end of the day, what do we learn from that? We don't learn much of anything at all. And I don't care, because, you know, I know someone commented, well, I'm ready. Well, okay, you're ready. But this is a gift that has been given to us by the Prime Curator. He wants all of his children to, if anything, at least have the chance to get on par and to get up to speed. And this is a gift that has been given to us, that has been wrapped in the most beautiful wrapping paper and the biggest red bow on Christmas morning. And, you know, I mean, obviously we have the choice to open it and take it or not. You know, that choice is up to us. It's now, you know, in our court, you know, to open this gift and to use it. But this has been a gift. This is a gift for us to finally see what has been hidden from us, what has been taken from us, what these people have done to us, and most importantly, how they have kept us in these corrupt systems, these paradigms, and what they have done to our children.
Yeah.
We need to see this. We need to experience this. We need to feel this. We need to learn this. As I stated, this is not the path to victory that everyone wanted or that everyone was expecting, but it is a necessary path to victory, and it will lead to much greater things down the line. So many greater things down the line. Yes, there will be some pain involved in all this, and obviously those that, you know, do not understand what is going on they'll go through a thrashing of their own. I pray that they don't. I pray that you know, that it goes as smoothly as possible. But I think the reality of this is that those that are not on par yet will definitely experience a turbulent time through this, because they were so enamored and so stuck on the one way that it could have played out. But as we all know, God's plan is both divinely orchestrated and he works in mysterious ways. And this is not the way that he wanted it to play out. And this is not the way that it will play out. It will play out this way. And it is the right way, and it is the correct way. Because we will see, we will learn, we will experience. And when we finally cross that bridge and step into the light, we'll be able to say, okay, where do we go from here? We know where we go from here because we learned, we experienced it, we felt it. And now that we're on the other side of this bridge and we're in the land of milk and honey, this is never going to happen again. We're never allowing this to happen again. We're going to stay in the right brain, and that's it. So this is the way it's happening, folks. We just have to buckle up, pray for one another, and watch it all play out.
Thank you so much, Greg. And I know
yeah, beautiful. Devina, let me interject for a sec while we still have Greg here. Remember, this is, and Greg knows this, there's another really key aspect to all of this. By allowing this to play out this way and allowing them to claim the presidency, and I say them, remember, this is the partnership of the Democrats and the mainstream media. By allowing them to claim it, the rats walking into the trap, taking the bait, and getting locked in the trap, it means that because Trump passed a very specific executive order, what it means is that Trump is going to be able to come after all of them via military tribunals. This is key. This is key. And remember, this is for your salvation, because what you don't want is this to play out for the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years in the court system that these demons have created to control us and give us the illusion of justice. There's no justice in their court system. There's filibuster. It just takes time and time. And so military tribunals are lawful. They're of God. They deal with the evidence, and that's it. Evidence and then judgment for those who are guilty based upon the evidence. So by doing this, the great benefit to you by breathing, getting through these difficult days here past the election, is that everything is going to move swiftly. The SWIFT code is going to fall because now we're able to go through military tribunals. This is so key to understand why it had to play out this way. Back over to Greg.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing that I want to say before I go any further, truly the main thing that the collective is fearing right now is the simple fact that the mainstream media will call it for Biden, and then Biden will accept. That's what's causing everyone's minds to just go. They just can't get beyond that. They don't want to hear that, whether it's falsely claimed or not, false crown or not. They don't want to hear that. They just want to hear Trump is victorious, and yay, we're moving on, and bye deep state and everything else. But this is such a complex plan.
It really is.
It really is. I mean, the layers of this plan are just they're deep and intricate and unbelievable. So people need to understand that this is not just a 1, 2, 3 step process. It's not. This is absolute military precision and timing at its absolute finest. And the people who are executing these plans, first of all, this is God's plan. Charlie knows that. We all know that. This is God's plan and God's plan alone. He has his angels working on the ground. He has his Archangel Trump and the Q team, JFK Jr., and all his angels working on this to execute this on the earth plane and on the ground. And it will be executed brilliantly. And will be executed brilliantly and perfectly at the exact right time in every moment in time. You can be rest assured of that. Okay, but this is a very intricate plan, and it's not going to go the way you want it to go, which is why I always say, and what I've been saying is people have to let go. They have to go within, and they have to let this play out. And absolutely, this will lead to military tribunals, which are lawful, godly, and will finish the deal and will seal the deal for the Democrats. That will be the nail in the coffin for the cabal, the deep state, every single demon, every single person involved. I mean, it's blatantly obvious what's happening. I mean, look at Fox News. Fox News completely committed suicide on election night. Completely. Wow. I mean, I to this day, and not to bring in a side note because it doesn't really matter, but I still don't understand why Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson don't have their own channel. What are they doing there? What are they doing there?
Part of the plan.
The only two people that ever gave any truth was those two. Yeah. But I mean, Fox showed their true colors, and again, the media has been showing their true colors all along. But now it's just gushing out. They're just vomiting and diarrhea lies all over the place. And if you can't see that, I mean, they have completely committed suicide. So don't worry.
Devina.
Yes, Charlie.
Sorry, Greg, just for a sec.
Yeah, go for it.
Just stay on the page for a sec. When Greg's finished talking, I'm just going to bring up that top post where you see the two military officers conversing here. We'll just go over that one in a sec. Or if Greg can see it, Greg can speak to it as well. He knows.
Yes.
Do you see it guys, on YouTube?
Yeah, I do see it. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I did read this earlier today. So, again, guys.
Complicated plan.
Yeah, this is all part of the plan, guys. I mean, I really shouldn't even have to explain the picture. That picture alone should tell you, be at ease. The right people are in control. God is in control.
Yeah.
You just have to let it play out and know that when the media and when Biden claims this, that it is false. It is false. I don't care what people tell you at work. I don't care what people tell you on the outside. I don't care what people are saying on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else. go within and know in your heart that that is not true. It is a false crown, but it must happen for things to proceed forward correctly. All right. We have to get control of that in our minds and in our hearts. And if we do that, this will be a lot smoother for all of us, not just as individuals, but as a collective.
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. And I was going to save this for the end of the show, but since Greg brought it up, I'll refer to it or make mention of it here. Again, what you're seeing is right now, there's no doubt. And there's people who are criticizing the Trump administration. And I completely understand. I'm not standing in judgment of them, but there are people in the middle of this going, this is just horrible right now because whoever's right or wrong, at the end of the day, where this has taken us these last couple of days is it's pushed not just America, because again, Trump is the president of all goodly, godly souls on this earth. So he's everybody's president. So it's divided the entire populace of the earth. It's divided mankind into two camps. But remember, it takes two to tango. So to criticize Trump for doing what is right is the wrong way of looking at it. For there to be a polar opposite right now, it means that there has to be a complete opposite to doing what's right, to doing what is goodly and what is godly. And that's what the Democrats are. It just proves that by everybody has agreed, even on the left of all of this mess. They all agree that the world, they're calling it the country, but the world is completely divided, and more so than it's ever been. Right. Because there is a group of people that have said, we are sick and tired of this mass insanity. And the people that are fighting this are the mass insanity. So, you shouldn't blame President Trump and the Q team for trying to take back sanity from mass insanity. And that's where we're at. That is exactly where we're at.
Wow. So, Charlie, thank you, Greg, for that. We appreciate your time, and just a lot of questions coming in. Don't forget Maria Bartaromo. Charlie, if you can shed light to that. And then somebody's saying that on election night, Tucker and Hannity were nowhere to be seen on election night, yet their viewers were tuned into the channel. Thank you, Pam, for that one. Brilliant. So it's obviously a bigger plan, and we're just watching the show. And honestly, I cannot believe that yesterday I was talking to a friend, and she's like, you really don't believe that there is a deep state and that they harvest children? And I asked, I said, what makes you believe otherwise? And she's like, how is this possible that this is going on? And I said, you need to do your own research. And this is what Charlie's message has always been about. Do your own research. Find out what is really going on. And we're here to just share what we know. But we really need to start having the real conversations. And anyway, this is all going to play out itself, right, Charlie?
Yeah, well, when people say, how is any of this possible? How is this going? When you eat your Smarties, do you eat their red ones last? Do you crunch them very swiftly, or blah 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 blah? That's how they've turned you into a consumer slave on the material plane. You're not the material plane. You are the eternal plane of the creator, which is the metaphysical realm. And that whatever you do here between the temples, take a look at Greg's number, Galactic Greg 1111, temple of the mind, temple of the body, 1111. We need to treat our body and mind as temples, and then we shall shine. Do you have oil in your lamp? Do you even know what that means? Do you have oil in your lamp? Right? It's one of the most ancient Christian myths.
Can you quickly tell us, what does it mean, oil in the lamp?
Do you, and this is, we don't need to go into any more division here, but this often now chases the literalist Christians away, and it shouldn't, because the teaching of oil in the lamp is the very heart and soul of even organized religion. And this is the raising of Christ consciousness within you. Christ is the sacred oil, which is released within you 13 times a year. And it's these 3 days, the divine 3 days, where this chrism oil needs to go on this journey. But if you don't treat your body and you don't treat your mind as a temple, it ain't going anywhere. It dies within the first 24 hours. And that the symbology of that is that you're putting Christ back on the cross, right? And it's kind of interesting because remember, whether Greg wants to get into any of this, it's very important to know the Catholic Church and the Jesuits, which are the military arm of the Catholic Church, they are basically the writers, the creators of this modern Western Christianity. Christianity was born out of the East. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Christianity came on the shoulders of what came before. And they're teaching this beautiful, beautiful story of the one, which is Christianity. It's so beautiful. And then the church in the West has predominantly been the Catholic Church. Now, remember, there was this Reformation. There was this protesting of all of the sins and all of the evilness to the Catholic Church. But all that occurred was the separation between two camps, and the new protest religions, Protestants, and all of these Protestant churches, they all take the basis to Christianity, and then they change a few little things. That's the problem. The whole problem of this narrative is that there's one or two heroes that are out there, and they're always going to save the day for you. That's what Greg's post this morning was about, that we can't turn this into Donald Trump pressing a button and fixing everything for us. And the Q team, thank you, JFK. Thank you, Donald Trump. I'm so tired. I don't want to do any work.
We can't stress that enough, that this is our time to do our work, to raise ourselves up. So, and when we do that, and when everyone around us is influenced by that, and they start raising their frequency, this is the work we do, and we can raise the frequency of the entire world when we do our own work. You have to point the fingers back at yourself right now, and you need to do the work yourself. This I can't stress this enough right now. It's get inside and do the work right now, and we will see the rewards on the outside. We will see all of that taking place on the outside, but never has there been a more important time to do the work inside right now. That's right. Each of us individually.
So
right now.
Davina was talking about this oil in the lamp, and what is the oil in the lamp? The oil in the lamp is Jesus Christ within you, and this is all that has to happen. And it's a natural process. It's a natural process within you. You just have to let it happen by being an alkaline being, alchemical alkaline being. And that's where Santa Claus comes into all of this, the sainted sacred colostrum. Because if you eat right and you breathe right, then the colostrum gives your body everything that you need, and then this Christed oil rises within you. It does it all. You don't have to do anything, and it just rises within you. This is what's called Christ consciousness, and this is the having Christ within you. And it is so beautiful, and it is so important. It is so, actually, at the end of the day, it's incredibly simple. The problem is that we take thought. We're constantly thinking, and we're not trusting in the Father for all.
Which allows the left brain to come in, which allows the ego to come in, which then we create suffering for ourselves and, of course,
so for
us.
All the wisdom that people want to heap on me and say, all these things, wonderful things about me. Remember, at the end of the day, all I did is I got rid of the false me and allowed God to shine brightly within me, and he rose Jesus within me, and now my light is on. And all I did is I got out of my own way. And so,
but you can't kill the ego, and that's a battle that you have to.
So it's a daily battle. And casting thy net to the right, you always have to cast thy net to the right, because if you're not casting the net to the right, you'll never catch 153 fish. If you don't catch 153 fish, you'll never have God consciousness. 1 + 5 + 3 is 9. 9 is the divine. 9/11 is the takedown, is the removal of God in our lives. And then think about this, folks, the sick genius of these evil ones. And 9/11 is the removal of God from within our temple. This is the 9, this is the 11, your two temples. And then 222 months later, on 3/11 of 2020, 3/11 of 2020, 222 was the removal of the mother away from us with this COVID nonsense and the mask wearing. And then you take the father, you take the mother, and what does that make us? Orphans. It makes us orphans. And what have they been doing to our children? What have the Clinton Foundation been doing with weather manipulation, weather machines, targeting specific countries, creating wars, creating economic famines, creating the United Nations and the United Nations peacekeeping force? What is the job of the United Nations peacekeeping force? To go in and take children that are separated from parents. So, this is the reality of what's been going on behind the scenes while we're playing Nintendo, while we're working 2 jobs 6 days a week to try and have enough money on the table to afford. And so a couple of things, and then we'll let Greg jump back in it. Santa Surfing, who's a wonderful lady, and she's getting all of her intel through the Q movement. It doesn't necessarily make her part of the Q team, but she's a very goodly, godly soul, and she's just doing her best to share this gnosis with people. She took a savage beating when she came back out and kind of took a back step away from her podcast on Nasara and this explanation of what's coming. We did a podcast on it, and we just called it God's Gifts to Mankind, because what they've been doing against us is illegal. Usury is illegal. You can't have this. Taxation is illegal. That's biblical as well, because in the Bible, God is making it so clear. You cannot take away one's sweat equity, and you cannot take away one's intellectual property. You can't tax those things. And that's exactly what our taxation does. It takes away your intellectual property, it takes away your sweat equity. That's yours, that defines you. That's kind of like your art.
And Charlie, this is actually a really interesting topic that I want to explore further, because I put up a poll on Facebook and on LinkedIn, and I said, what do you feel about taxes? Do you want to pay taxes? Especially, do you want to pay more COVID taxes? And 95% of the people who responded, they said that they were comfortable paying more taxes because of COVID. Now, that just tells us that people are really not ready. They are at a different level of consciousness. And as light workers, it is our responsibility to share that information. We cannot convince somebody to choose between Biden or Trump, black or white. That's not how it works. But what we can share is knowledge. And that is why, Charlie, I want to invite you to come back for another show on that, for taxation, just taxation. And we will get all the experts in. If you guys have questions, you bring it on, and we will be back streaming live next Friday. Is that okay, Charlie? Next Friday?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, the key thing here for everyone to recognize is that money, all the trillions that has been taken as what is called income tax, has not been going to your federal or state or provincial governments. It has not been going there.
Believe it or not, it's been going underground.
This has been going through Rome to Venice. And
when we find out what we've been paying for.
So one of the things that Santa Surfing talked about is that, there'll be removal of a lot of debt. but perhaps now backtracking a little, perhaps now not the mortgages, not a house loan.
Yeah. Charlie, let's say bye to Greg, and then we'll continue for another few minutes. Greg, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Can you
Greg.
hear us, Greg? We can hear Greg, but thank you so much for joining in, and have a wonderful day at work, Greg. I know you said you have to go to work, so we wish you well. Thank you. And we're going to continue our conversation. Charlie, is there... so somebody wants to know, why did Trump leave the Paris Agreement?
Because it's not his agreement. No matter what you think the Paris Agreement stands for, it's subterfuge. It's constantly, they say one thing's do another. Remember, you have this whole group of people in not just in America, but across the earth that identify with liberalism and liberals, not realizing that the people who are liberals are the real Nazis. These are the real peoples of the far, far, far right of the political spectrum. These are the true Nazis. And they draw you in, they suck you in with this narrative of we care. But the thing that what they do, folks, is that they constantly tell you, you're so flawed. There's a problem with you, that it's all your problem. It's all your fault. There's too many of you. You're getting sick all the time and you're spreading these diseases. See, if you weren't so screwed up all the time, then there would really be no problems. And so ultimately, I'll guarantee you this. Their Georgia Guidestone protocols of getting the populace down from 7 billion to 500 million worker slaves that were left. They're so good at what they were doing, and they had gone so far with the masses that they would have, just like that Star Trek episode. Once again, you go back to Gene Roddenberry. He had this unbelievable episode talking about us, how, and this is the original Star Trek, Captain Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and they go to this planet and they're in the midst of a horrible war, and they're going, what war? There's nothing going on. Oh, Captain, we've evolved so much. So the wars that are going on now are theoretical, are computer-based wars. But while your ship, we warned you not to put your ship in orbit, but your starship was targeted by a ICBM and it's been destroyed. And so we have to ask you to go into this chamber and die.
Computerized war games, and then the actual casualties have to take place after.
So, and then the brilliance of Roddenberry is that as the episode plays out, they get to explain. So how do you justify this? What are you doing? Well, it's all about the culture. So the culture has to survive. We can't lose these buildings. We can't lose this artwork.
But we're willing to lose the people.
We're willing to lose you. And of course, we powerful ones who have a brain, who are in the government, governing the mind, we don't go in because, of course, we have to negotiate back and forth and whatnot. We're important. You're not. So get into
You're
that damn machine.
And we're not.
And I guarantee you that another 5-7 years from now, and people would willingly have walked into these disintegrating machines. I guarantee you. When you're talking about, like you said, that poll, are people willing to pay more taxes?
We would have said it's for the greater good.
Yeah, for COVID, that Star Trek episode popped into my mind. Get into this disintegrating machine. Yes, of course, that's just good sense. So that's what these liberals are. They're monsters. They're the Nazis working with government and corporations as one on the right side, telling you that they care, but we never fix anything because, you see, you're the problem. I'm sorry, but it's your fault. So it's not that we're teaching you all lies, you don't know any truth. It's not that we're feeding you death food and you're not getting any real health and real nutrition. It's not that we're filling your mind with health. No, we're toxifying your body and your mind. No, it's none of those things. It's just your fault. And this is the reality that we live within, is that it's all our fault.
And you keep saying the word not Z, not Z. And it just struck me instantly. It's not Z, not Z. You are not a Z. So what does being a Z mean?
Yeah, and it's incredible, because when you look at the word na is not, and zi is another representation, another spelling of chi, which is chi, or ki, which is qi, which is the ether, which is the breath of God, which is the spirit of God, which is all creation, which is 18. The sacred number of 18, and 1 + 8 is 9. And then, like Colleen's saying, what's the significance of the letter Z, is that across the top you see the Father, and then balance is the Mother. So it's Father, Child, Mother. It's the Holy Trinity in balance. That's why Z is at the end of the alphabet, right? That's the whole journey that we go through with this alphabetical story from A to Z. That's the book that Josh and I are writing, and getting closer to being able to release for you. And it is an incredible story, because it's your story. It's the truth, and it allows you to take back the truth, because you now know the truth of all of your letters and therefore all of your words, not the false meanings that they have forced upon us, but the actual real meanings of all of these things. So I'm just on your YouTube page, Charlie and Colleen, and there's a lot of videos, and one of them that I have watched is the dissonance, what is it called? There was one with the dissonance, so I just wanted to share that with you. But make sure that you are subscribing to the Freak Sense TV. And right now we have Laura, who is on the chat, and she has a question. Laura, are you ready?
You
Hi.
mean me? Hi.
Hi, Lorix.
It's more of a question of how to keep calm in the midst of when you go negative, because my mind goes all over the place. It goes all over in the sense that there are so many similarities between the plan and the other plan. And of course, the patience, we know patience is a virtue that we are working all the time. And even though I was trying to say how I red pill myself, how I became to look at Trump, I really want to know, beside meditation and stuff, which obviously I know the question is just how do I remind myself to trust the plan? Although I always knew that, because when I was younger, I don't know, my grandma must have said, let God do whatever he wants to do with me, because even to this age, I don't know what I'm doing here on the earth. So yeah, maybe it's not clear, but you have something to pick on.
No, that was brilliant. And how do we correctly pronounce your name?
Well, my name is Ruxandra Laura, but I put Lorax as a pin because it's really a combination, but it's Ruxandra and Laura. And since my mom, she's in heaven probably, but she wanted both. So I want to keep both.
That's beautiful.
Ruxandra is difficult to pronounce, but it's okay because it's so Romanian that it's like that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, it's very beautiful. And of course, Lux is light. And just by listening to you and seeing you, you are the light of the world. It's beautiful to be in your presence. And thank you for asking that question. And it's a good one. Just remember, folks, this is why we started the show with those two songs, okay? So Blackwater by the Doobie Brothers, Doobie to get high, and Blue Oyster Cult, which is going up into heaven and receiving the perfect pearl, which is the pure Virgin Mother in the blue Tiffany sky. And you see only Jesus, the best man, can return. So that's why when you come to learn the truth about the Bible and the truth about God and Mary the mother and Jesus Christ the child, you live in awe. And that's what Colleen and I'm not kidding you. Not kidding you. People think so many things of us, but we're just two kids, and we are in awe of God's plan, God's creation, of God, how this whole process works. When we did the work to go inside, all of the downloads that come to us, and just knowing, you know what is being said and what is being meant. That's incredible to have that knowingness, because our whole lives, it's that indecision, it's that doubt, because you don't really know anything. But when you do the work, when you meditate and you get these downloads from God, then instantaneously you know. And so how do you stay calm through all of this? It's what I teach every video. Trust in God. Take the load off of Fanny and put the load right on the shoulders, the trust of God.
So some of the things you can do is to get out of beta wave, which is where we are when we're not trusting and we're freaking out about which plan is happening and which timeline are we on. So it's really important, because this happens to me too. Not so much him, but it happens to me. And I have to remind myself with tools that I have, or he'll tell me, but tools like getting out of beta wave. So listening to music that calms you, going to things that really put you back down in the frequency. By that, I just mean not the beta waves, going into the lower waves, the alpha and such. So whatever you have that takes you there, whether it's stroking your beautiful cat or your pet, your dog, or having a beautiful conversation with someone you love, and making sure that you speak about something that is of higher mind, as opposed to, the drama that's taking place, because that'll keep you in that beta wave. So again, it's distracting yourself from that left brain. Oh, beautiful. See?
We have
exactly.
18 cats. Where's one of our cats?
That's so beautiful. Oh, that's so
yeah. Now, so everybody who is watching live with us, make sure that you are cuddling your fur baby. If you don't have a fur baby, go hug a tree. If you don't have a tree near you, hug yourself, because that's what it is. It's about giving yourself the love, the light, the wisdom that you are worth it, and that you are love, you are light. And there we go. Hello,
And,
beautiful.
And
Who's
this beautiful fellow is Zoroaster. And
Oh my God.
Zoroaster is so amazing because, like Frodo, our dog, one of our million dogs, Frodo never leaves my side. Zorro just follows me everywhere I go as well. So this is Zoroaster, and he is absolutely amazing. He's the observer. We have to become the observer.
Yeah.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much.
Sacred, it's true. And it's true, one of my dreams, and I always thought it's just a dream, was to do similar what you're doing with animal rescue. I'm a plant animal lover. You can, Devina knows I'm a bit too crazy about, plants, animal first, some humans after. And I give shit to people sometimes for the little plant. I'm crazy. But
no, you're not.
No, in a good sense. In a good sense, I made peace with my craziness. I love it. Now I love it. I have the hyperactive brain. That's why. So it's yeah. And this one
it's a brilliant brain. And what it just needs is a little bit of discipline. And that's what we have to give ourselves. And it's so important. It's so important. But we have all of these, like your brain is really fast and everything that can be used and utilized so well. But when it's in balance, and that's the one thing that I have to do too, more so than, and it's easier for him to do. So it's harder for some people to understand this, but some of us just have these differences. But it just means that we have to work a little bit harder, but that can be utilized in so many ways. If we could just, hook our wagon to the right ship.
Yeah, so we'll continue to watch many of your videos. I did watch quite a few because it's a lot, and it's even that. But the brain wants to know everything, so of course I get distracted to other things. But I would not go back for anything. I was semi-aware or semi-awake even before COVID. whatever you call it. But I don't think we could go back, and I have to keep the hope, the trust. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So,
Brilliant.
Yeah. And
we're gonna come visit too, by the way, when me and the
yay.
neighbors.
Thank you.
My dream is Maui, by the way. And if it's not Maui, definitely will come and replace you for a couple of weeks to go vacation.
Well,
It's
you know
just
what?
decided to keep me here.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is that you say Maui. We're basically on the same level as Maui. We're just further to the east, a little closer to the sun rising.
But Maui is beautiful.
But Maui's really beautiful. Yeah.
My heart is there. It's just
Yeah.
that I have to have patience now, because I cannot wear masks and I don't know. We have to make miracles to go get something there. There are many animal places that we could actually make up there. Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, you know, when I did the podcast on meditation, I spent 80% of the show talking about virtue and becoming virtuous, not sinful, but virtuous.
Yes.
You know, if you want peace and quiet during this time, serve God's creation, and there's no end of worthy recipients to your love and your attention. Give your love and give your attention to others. The rewards in life are built into the work you do. I can't stress this enough. What comes to you is completely determined by your actions, and your actions are completely determined by the thoughts you do or don't take. So when people ask of us all the time, the people will say, Charlie, you just seem so calm, you just seem so confident, or you just seem so sure all the time. What is it that how would, you know, what can I do to become that? I'm not joking when I say this. God is real. Hand over this ridiculous process of thinking, and try to ruling your life from the valley floor, and give it to the one who is high up in heaven, who sees all and who created all. Do that. Just trust. And people go, well, again, like, you know, what do you mean just trust? How do things happen? Things are always happening. That's the way life is. It's who is there to receive what comes to you. Is it the scattered left brain, or is it the peaceful wholeness of the 90% of the right brain? Do you have God in every moment? Do you have Jesus in every moment? Do you have Mary in every moment? Or do you have the devil in every single moment? That's exactly how it is.
So wake up, put on the armor of God, and be in the now. And when you're fearful, you know it. You're not in the now. Yeah. So that's a really good way to understand that.
And remember the song, Don't Fear the Reaper with Blue Oyster Cult. Once again, why is the title of the song in brackets at the very beginning? Don't fear, and then they're inside brackets, because inside the temple there's no fear. Live in here, and the transfer of knowledge, the transfer of basic information is instantaneous. There is no delay. You will always know what you need to know exactly when you need to know it.
So we've been tempted to live in the physical and slow our vibration down so much, and we have not learned how to live in the other world, which is between here. So we have to relearn how to live in the non-physical, and we can bring those two worlds together, and that's the duality. So like in Lord of the Rings, and I love that about the elves. It's just a really good allegory for me. It's just they live in two worlds
simultaneously. Professor Tolkien wrote that about the elves. There's no two ways around it. The elves live in two worlds at once.
And so that's what we're retraining ourselves to do. We're trying to remember how to live in those two worlds. And this world here has been taken away from us by the programming of the cabal. And the cabal is going down. So now is time to retrain and remember how to live in this what you would call an imaginary world. It's the non-physical world. Sorry, go ahead.
Are you referring to the twin temples? Is that what this is?
That's
Yeah,
right.
the two
This
temples.
is the twin temples. Solomon's temple is your brain. And remember, everyone, the Bible could be renamed as "Enter your name here," because every single name that is being put in the Bible is you. It's your story. It's your journey. I cannot
heaven.
stress this enough. This is heaven upon earth. Okay. This is hell upon earth, where you're ruled by your 5 physical senses and you're trapped through your uncles in Egypt. Egypt is just an allegory for the left hemisphere of the brain.
So it's just when you're out of balance, then you're only living in one world, and that's the physical low vibration.
Low vibration.
And we need to rise. And so that's the whole essence of what we're teaching, is just exactly, we need to rise up into heaven, and we can have heaven on earth. We really can. We don't need to be stuck in suffering in hell. That's what the cabal was leading us down that road, and that's where they wanted us, because that's where they could control us.
And
we're not going to stay there any longer. We're on our way back home.
And just to tie this together again, very quickly, Devina, to where we started the show and where we're finishing. Remember, the very nature of us, mankind, men and women, it doesn't matter. We are electrical beings. We're positively charged, and we overload. We see this all the time. We blow our circuits. We blow a fuse all the time and go off half-cocked everywhere because we're constantly blowing our circuits. So we need to become grounded. Where does electricity become grounded? In the earth, right? Like how do you prevent yourself from getting a shock? You just have to be grounded. If you create copper wires in an electrical circuit, what do? They go to a pole, which is hammered down into the earth. So you're just grounding in the earth. What's the earth? The mother, which is Mary, which is magnetism. There's 2 energies. There's electricity, which is a downward causation, and there's magnetism, which rises. Which one is eternal and which one will die? Electricity will die. So people say, Charlie, like, you're crazy talking about this eternal life thing. Just look around you, buddy. Everybody I know is dying. Because they've convinced you that you are a worthless piece of dung. There's no God, that there was a big bang, there was nothing, then there was everything, and there's all these brilliant rules, but there's no God, there's no love. It's just cold, random, it's great, evolution, we were monkeys, ooh, and now, we look like this, but we're here, we'll go, there were dinosaurs. There's no
that's the swamp.
Thing as dinosaurs.
Everything that he's saying right now is the swamp. And when we drain that swamp, all of that information that's bull crap is going out, and we have to fill it with something, which is God's truth. We
are the pinnacle of God's creation. We have looked like this forever. If there's no mankind, there's no earth. This is here for us to go on this journey. And the only thing that you have to do is start taking it seriously. That's why I was doing that earlier about the womb and the room. With your widow baby, you're in the womb, and you pronounce everything like this because you're a widow baby in the womb. But you have to go to the room. And that's the highest part of your head, is the chamber of the bridegroom. Bride, mother, B, 2nd letter. Groom, G, 7th letter. God intervening in our lives. G, bride and groom. The B ride to the G room. And you know what? We keep forgetting, and it's okay, because that's why we're here. We're here to help remind you, and we're here to teach you, and we're here to help each other, because you guys help us just as much as we help you. So that's a beautiful symbiotic relationship that we have. And that's what human and mankind is meant for.
Thank you so much, Charlie, Colleen, Ruxandra, and to Greg, and to everybody who's here. We're about to finish the show today, and as I'm saying that, it's 4:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so right on time. And I just want to share something. So I am the author of a book called Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious, and this book, among other things, it teaches you. It's based on the KAUR formula, which, if you're going to see on my name, it's trademarked. And it talks about self-knowledge, which is what the K stands for. Then it talks about A for acceptance, The U stands for unlearning, and then the R stands for release. So this book will help you in understanding your ego a little bit more, understanding yourself, but mostly how to have a relationship with your ego. So Charlie, I actually want to gift this book to your audience, to somebody who wants this book. So please message us, message Charlie, message Colleen if you want this book. It will be my pleasure, my honor to gift you Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious. And Charlie, Colleen, I also want to send you this book, Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious, so that you can have it as your resource. Not that you need
Thank
it, but
you. Thank you, Devina.
yeah.
Thank you, sweetheart.
So we just want to come to the end of the show. Charlie, is there anything that we've missed that you want to just finish up with? Thank you, Laura, for being here. We really appreciate that.
Thank you, Laura. It's so
Thank you
nice to
very
meet you,
much.
Laura. Thank you,
Yeah,
Laura.
it's such an honor just to meet you. Thank you for coming on the show and sharing your beautiful energy. And we've met a number of Romanians, and they're always just such beautiful, beautiful, beautiful souls. So there's some magic going on there.
Yep.
And that's what this world is about: is to bring it in to this one family. And when this is the lesson to learn from the Aboriginals. There's some people that think Aboriginals is like a derogatory term. It's a bad word you're making. No, it isn't. Aboriginals, A, B, originals, A, father, B, mother. The first children of the father and the mother. Of course, it's a perfect word for the Aboriginals. They came first. They're the first children. And they were all able. There are no Canaanites. There are no Canaanites in these Aboriginals. They were all children
That's
of
why the
able.
Canaanites tried to get rid of them and genocide all
That's
the
exactly right. So
Aboriginals.
Cortez the killer, dancing, Neil Young, dancing across the water, man. Cortez, what a killer, man. Yeah, that's what the Catholic Church, the Jesuits of the Catholic Church sent Cortez to do, to kill the AB originals, because they are ABEL. They're able. You have to be able. The Canaanites can't. This is who we're fighting against. This is what the cabal is. These 13 bloodline families of Venice, which is a ship at sea, which thinks that it makes them immune to all of the punishments of God, because they're the pirates of the sea. They're not on God's land, where you have to tell the truth. You have to be lawful in every moment on God's land. That's why they stay in Venice, which is a ship at sea. So they're outside of the penalties of God in their mind. These 13 bloodline families trace their lineage back to Cain. What did Cain do? He killed his brother Abel, and he ate his brother. Cannibal is Cainable. Cain ate Abel. What do these Canaanites do to our children?
Oh, gross.
This is who they are. Canaanites are the killers of Abel. To be able is to be righteous, is to be there for God. We are able. We are can do. We can do. They can't. Canaanites can't. And they hate, and they hate, and they hate, and they hate. Just look. If you doubt any of this, look at a pope. Doesn't matter. Donovan wrote one of the most incredible songs on that brilliant 1970 album, Open Road. One of the great songs on the album is Poke of the Pope. Poke of the Pope. Take a look at any one of these popes. Is this who you want to be handing your soul over to? Just use your common sense and look at these Canaanites. They're all around you. Look at any executive in Hollywood. Is this who you want to be dealing with? Look at any executive head of any bank. Is this who you want to be dealing with? Look at any executive head of any one of these big tech companies. They're all evil-looking people. They're Canaanites of the left brain, ruled by the ego. They are the devil. They are the Hydra. They are the beast. They are the dragon. We must slay the dragon and cast our net to the right. Because if we don't have oil in our lamp, you have nothing. Oil in your lamp is Jesus Christ, and you must raise Jesus within you. And the only way you can raise Jesus is through the mother. In other words, it's another beautiful allegory or parable for you. Love the mother. Where is your mother? Hug her right now. Make her life better. Serve your life for the women of this world who we think that they're sex toys or something like this. My God. Love them. Sex is a beautiful thing done correctly, because sex done correctly is honoring the sacred temple. What did I say to you? V for vendetta. There's two V's. The vagina is the sacred portal to the feminine within us in the physical. The V up here is the pineal gland, which is the sacred portal to the Father.
And the Canaanites have taken that special, beautiful, incredible, powerful symbol, and they've turned it upside down. So we're taking it back.
Yeah,
we are taking it back through discussion and dialogue, through love, and we're actually over time by an hour. But Charlie, that's normal with you.
It's true.
And as we're coming to the end of the show,
there is no time.
I want to say thank you to Laura for being here. I'm just going to finish the show with the cards. Laura, watch us. Roxandra, watch us on YouTube. You're going to love the cards.
Those are beautiful. Beautiful.
So, Charlie and Colleen, anything else on the elections very quickly? Because a lot of people are still joining in. They're watching this late, and
for sure, and that's right. And there's a lot of people that will say in the show that ultimately, we didn't maybe talk enough about the election. There's nothing to talk about. The fact of the matter is, the plan that Greg and Colleen are constantly referring to is not the Trump plan or the Q team plan. It's God's plan. I cannot stress this enough. Read the tweets of General Michael Flynn. Every single tweet that General Flynn he writes, he's tweeting, he's constantly saying, this is God's plan. Right? General of the army, and he's constantly saying that this is God's plan. Trust in the Creator. Trust in the plan. Take no thought for your life. Jesus says in Matthew chapter 6, in 6:22, if thine eye be single, thy whole body shall fill with light. And then from 6:25 to 6:34, Jesus says 5 times, how many wounds did Jesus have upon the cross? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. 5 physical senses. You must leave the blood-brain barrier, and you must rise to heaven upon earth at the right-hand side of the Father. What is located on the right-hand side of you, which is the third ventricle of your brain? The pineal gland, a pine cone. Why do you think Mount Rushmore is located in South Dakota? Because that entire area is white rock, right? It's pure virgin white rock, and it is filled with nothing but pine trees. It is sacred, holy, hallowed ground. That's why this stuff is real. This is so real. All of this stuff is so real. So the pineal gland is where you need to go. It is the portal. But to get there, you have to go through the vagina, which is the sacred, which is the womb of the feminine. You only will rise if you raise the mother. You're going nowhere until you exalt the feminine of this earth. If you continue this rape and murder and use and abuse of the feminine in every form on this earth, you're going nowhere. The moment that you learn to love and respect the mother, you shall rise to heaven, because the Father is in love with the mother. He wants nothing more than to bring his family home again. That's here. That's Blackwater. That's Don't Fear the Reaper. 2 of the most popular songs in history, and they're talking about Jesus and Mary rising to the Father in heaven. Wow.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Charlie. And thank you so much, Colleen. Lots of beautiful comments. We just want to say thank you to the audience who's here, to Colleen, to Charlie. We're going to be back next Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But before we go, we're going to pull these cards. Charlie, Colleen, I should have told you about this earlier, but these are cards that I wrote. They're sexy, brilliant empowerment cards.
Ooh.
And if you can see on camera, they look like this.
They're gorgeous.
Beautiful.
They are beautiful. What I didn't tell you is they're a little bit X-rated. so if you've got any kids watching us, please, I don't want to discuss sex with them right now. So Charlie, Colleen, we've got 50 cards. They're available on sexybrilliant.org. We are a registered nonprofit foundation to remove toxic shame. You can find the cards. You can find the book, Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious. And you can find some merch, including organic cotton t-shirts. So please support the nonprofit foundation if you can, with love, with gratitude. And Charlie, please pick cards. One card for you, Charlie, one card for you, Colleen, and maybe a third one for me if we have time. So Charlie, pick a number, 1 to 54.
17.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to count that on camera. In the meantime, why don't you tell everybody how they can find you and support you, Charlie and Colin?
You can find us and support us inside of you. And, you know, we love when you are a creditor and you send us the credit of your strength and your love and your will to us. And if you have some extra money and it's not a stress to you at all, you can find us at buymeacoffee.com/Charlie Freak 777. And there you can help with the animals. There's 45 and no kidding. It's a ton of work and money every month. But again, you know, only if you've got more than enough. You can support us with your love, and we feel it, and it energizes us, and we appreciate it. Devina, what's
Thank
card?
you. Colleen, what number card for you from 1 to 54?
That's easy. 3.
Oh, I love it. We go back. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. Divine messages. And I'm going to go with number 2 today.
Oh, beautiful.
So let's see what our cards are. So the card that Charlie chose is called Sexy Forgiveness. I can't make this up, guys. It says, sexy people forgive. Forgiveness begins with allowing ourselves to let go. Love yourself enough and have the courage and determination to forgive yourself and others. Forgiveness opens the door to brilliant new possibilities.
Beautiful.
Charlie, please, Colleen, please expand on that.
So beautiful. And again, for Colleen and I, we love and forgive everyone except Biden supporters. No love and no forgiveness for you.
Well, that's okay. I forgive you, Biden supporters. I used to be a liberal all my life, and then I'm like, I possibly cannot support anybody who's not.
It's when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Colleen, this is your card, and Sexy Brilliant, and it says, love and re-love.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So love is a sexy art. I mean, everything about me is sexy. I'm sorry. I run Sexy Brilliant, guys. It says, love is a sexy art. We are all deserving of love, care, acceptance, and a sense of belonging. Promise to give love second chances and opportunities to flourish. Make self-kindness a top priority. There is growth in love, and we are all worthy of love.
Beautiful.
Wow, what a card. Charlie, Colleen, any explanation for that on love and re-love?
What says it all right there? It's amazing. It's one of the most important things
love is
you
our
can
true
do.
home. So
Yeah,
there
it
we
is.
go. And then the final card that I picked, which was the divine, like I would have chosen number 3, but I chose 2. It says, watch those sexy thoughts and choose your thoughts carefully. Filter out all except the positive. A mindful focus on the thoughts that help and give us energy makes us more attractive in every way.
Mhm.
When we live in awareness, we come one step closer to staying in our own abundant energy without disrupting the sexy brilliance within us.
That's beautiful. And it absolutely is.
Yeah. Wow.
Thoughts can lead you down the road of acidity or alkalinity. And when you have beautiful, positive thoughts, that's alkalinity. And that's just as, if not more important than the food that you put in your body, but equally so, I would say. They're both very important. So keeping it alkaline, keeping it positive, keeping it full of love. Absolutely.
And thank you so much. What synchronicity and the card messages are always aligned to exactly the discussion we have. And Charlie and Colleen, I want to say thank you to you. I want to say thank you to all our viewers on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We are also on Periscope, which is Twitter, as well as Facebook and YouTube. So thank you so much, guys, for sharing, for caring. And together we are making the world a better place. Charlie, Colleen, any second thoughts, last minute thoughts? And of course, before we close the show, I want to invite everybody back on next Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You can check us out on sexybrilliant.org. You can also follow the Freak Sense YouTube channel. Charlie is currently in Facebook jail, but Colleen is still allowed. However, we do have a Facebook group called Freak Sense World, so make sure that you're joining that as well. And once again, thank you to everybody who's here. You can find me, my book, on Amazon, on sexybrilliant.com.org, as well as Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious. If you search for it, you will find something. And if you want this book for free, please share this video. Please like the Sexy Brilliant Nonprofit Foundation accounts and message us so that we know who you are, and that give reference to Colleen and Charlie, and I will personally send this book to you, shipping and handling and everything paid on me. So Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious. And I want to say thank you to everybody for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you all.
Be
calm. Breathe. Breathe.
And Charlie and Colleen, as you said, the reason I'm rushing is because I have a karate class in 5 minutes. So let's talk about self-discipline in one of our next shows, Charlie.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Devina, for everything. Thank
Love
you.
you guys. Bye. Bye, everybody on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere. Thank you so much.